To deploy my application, I will either click the play button, but it is essential for me to build my app. I'll click build. I'm not going to select build solution because if I select build solution, it will take longer time because it will build for Android and iOS. But I'll select build for Android alone. This will build for Android alone. This is because Android is being selected using the. I'm currently working on Android platform, and you can change it from here as well. Now build succeeded. Build succeeded. Now the next thing for me to do is to launch the app. To launch the app, I can either press start debugging by pressing Ctrl F5 F5 on my keyboard or Function F5 depending on your keyboard configuration, or you can click the play button directly from here. Please note that this will take about 1 or 2 minutes for your app to be ready, depending on your system configuration. Okay, now let me hop over to Visor and let's see our projects on my device. Excellent. I can hop over and click browse, and this is just a simple default master detail page. I can add to it. Oops. So I'm going to click it again, and welcome to Edo Power Box. Oh, okay. I might need to change this is as a result of my keyboard trying to do something else. Right, press back. This is is actually responding to backspace. My keyboard will will click this. So I'm going to use my phone keypad to type. This is lovely. I'll click save, and I have it here. This is lovely. For me to hop over to my oh, okay, this has been disconnected. But if this has not been disconnected, you can click the stop button here. This could be as a result of when I was pressing backspace and all that. Now, what I want to do next, in the next video, I'm going to show you. We're going to develop a simple calculator. To do that, I'm going to hop over to item page. I don't need this main page for now. We want to develop a simple calculator. I'll hop over to the item page. I'm going to delete all this now so that we have a simple calculator. And I'll hop over to the design view, the toolbox. And with toolbox, basically the one major thing that made me fall in love with Xamarin is the ability to drag and drop. I think I love drag and drop. And I'm going to select the layout I want to use. I'm going to select stack layout and put it here. Don't worry, I'm going to explain everything one by one so that you know how to operate with any of the layouts and how to modify it. With the layout selected, you can add so many things inside layout. You can add many of the tools here, and you can even add a lot of properties. For me to have access to properties, now that I'm new to Xamarin, I may not know a number of things here because this has a lot of properties and I don't know much about the properties. I can either add it directly if I know what I'm looking for, or I can hop over to properties by this side and check the properties that I want to work with. If you don't see these properties, please go to view and scroll down to the bottom of your page and click property windows. Okay, the property that I want to work with now will be horizontal property. I want the horizontal option, that is the horizontal aspect of this page, to be able to fill and expand so that to cover the entire screen. And I want the vertical option to be able to fill and expand as well so that to cover the entire screen. I'll show you how it will look like before we publish. The next thing I want to drop, because I want to develop a simple calculator, I will hop over to the toolbox and bring in label. And this label, the name of the label will be my simple calculator. I can work with the horizontal option as well. If it's not coming out, you can come to this place and set the horizontal option to be fill and expand. I don't want the vertical option to be fill and expand. I'm going to leave it this way. The next thing I'm going to bring on board is entry. Entry basically is for you to input values, just like the same way you type your username and password. I'm going to name this enter. This placeholder means a pseudo text that will, or description that will tell users what to input. So I will tell user, please input your number. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to give this entry a name. Just like, let's say we have 5 people in this within a system. Each person must be assigned a name. Just like maybe in your room, you have a television, you have your wardrobe, you have bed. Same way, you need to give every tools a name so that you'll be able to reference that tool. For instance, you might want to send your son to go and pick your laptop. If your laptop did not have a name, your son will not be able to know the right thing to pick. So in the same way, you give it a name. To give this guy a name, it has to start with X into bracket and column name. And I'm going to give it first number. Now, let me talk about this style. This style is called Hungarian style. That is how they write in Hungary or something. That if they capitalize the next letter. For me to write it that way, I can't put space in your name in component name or tool's name. This is programmatically wrong because your name tool shouldn't have a space. It will cause error, maybe in WHEIC and all that. In the same way, everything must have a unique name, and that name must be unique to this page. Is a must. For instance, if you have 2 phones, one can be called Techno L5, one can be iOS, or my wife's phone, or my husband's phone, things like that. The next thing I'm going to do, I want to bring in operator. To bring in operator, I want to add 2 numbers together, subtract, multiply, and divide. To do that, I'll bring in a new operator called picker, a new drop down called picker. With picker, I can say, before that time, let me do something here. Let me write first. Let me bring in another label and call it first number, and this I'll call it select. Oops. Select operator. Then I'll bring a picker on board. With picker, I can easily tell picker to select. Users will be able to select which picker he or she want to use. I'm going to format the picker as well to be this way. And title, I don't really need title. The next thing I'm going to do is to put placeholder. This one doesn't contain placeholder. The next thing I'm going to do is to add um, I to add items to picker. To do that, I'm not going to use picker in single picker this way. I'm going to use another way of ending this value. There are two ways to end any. If you open a tag, if you're familiar with HTML, you understand what I mean perfectly. If you open a tag, you can either end it with forward slash greater than, or you end it this way. But because I want to work with internally with this can contain other features. It is important to use second end tag. I'm going to select item pick here, and what will be inside this will be string, and the name will be plus minus asterisk for multiplication and forward slash for division. The next thing to do, I've added this operator. I'm going to copy this again. Control P, Control C, Control V. This one will be second number, and I'm going to give it a unique name because the name cannot be the same. I'll call it second number. Second number. The next thing I'm going to do, let's add placeholder to this. I'll click on this. I will copy this placeholder option and add it to entry, and I'm going to add it to entry as well. This is more of styling. The last but not the least, before we get our hands dirty with code, I'll bring in button to calculate for me. And this button, I want the width request, that is the width of the button, to be 80, and I want the text to be calculate. Next, I bring on board output, the last output. This will show final output. I'll give it a name, x column name equals output. And the horizontal option and vertical option will be the same as well. Now that I have this, the most important thing I need to check, let's see the design view of this before we continue. To check the design view, I'll hop over to this place. This is source, the code view, and this is the design view. I'll click the design view. This will automatically load my view for me. This is the same way it will look when I install it on my system. This is exactly how it will look. Don't worry, we're going to format it and make it more robust. but I want to focus solely on the output first. I'll go to source code again. Let's do something here. Let's increase the font size of this. I'll hop over to font size to be okay. Let me type it directly. Font size equals bold or header, or you can even specify it directly 40. If we go back to design view, let's change it to Nessus. Here we go. Or pixel. Here we go. Okay, excellent. The next thing I want to do now is to perform a specific function. All we have been doing so far, we have been working with XAMPP, that is XML format, to lay our design. This is just the design view basically. But for me to connect my C# code with this, there are several ways you can do that, but I'm going to show you a very simple way. With this button, which is a triggered button, of course, any of this can be an event trigger. I'll click space. I'll look for click. That is when user click on this calculate, this app will do something for me. I'm going to select add new event handler. With this event handler, ideally I'm supposed to give my button a name, but by default it will automatically generate a name for it. But best practice is always name your components, your properties. Always name them, the type of component you're using. I'll call this calculate button. Now, the moment I click new event handler, you'll notice that by default it will automatically create a new page for me, and this page looks exactly like C# code, code, just like the way we've been doing it before. Now, to access this page, let me save and close this page. To access this page, I'll hop over to my view item. Then under item, you see this xampp.cs. You double click it, you will be able to get the page again. And this is the button I just created, the event button I just created, which is this. Now the concept is I want to do addition. To do that, I need to get the value of what user type on this number, on this container, and this container, the second container, and get the value of picker. One thing I need to do, I need to name my picker as well. To name my picker, x column name equals operator. Awesome. You can call it operator picker so that you know it's actually a picker. I'll come to the code view. I want to do something here. If I write first name dot test plus second name number dot test and make it output dot test, this will work. Don't forget, on every statement, to anything you write, as far as programming is concerned, you must terminate it. This is like our full stop in English language. Okay, this will work, but this will not give me the exact answer, the correct answer. The reason is that first number is treated as string, second number too is also a string. And string, when you do something like this, string, I believe you understand this, but I just want to do a quick recap. String 1 and 2, because it's string, you have to put in inside double quotes. String p2 equals 4, 5. If you add these two together, it's going to give you 45, which is entirely wrong. What we want to do basically, what we need to do is to ensure that this is integer or decimal or double. Because we'll be dealing with division, so it is better to use double. What I need to do now is to pass my first number inside this place. But if I do it that way, certainly you know that it will be very wrong, because this cannot implicitly convert string to double. For instance, you can't trust your user. Your user might want to type 4 and mistakenly type 40. 40 cannot be inside double, because double can only accept the numbers, decimal numbers. Now, to convert it, I'm going to write it this way: int, or since I'm using double, I'm going to use double dot pass. What this guy is trying to tell me is that whatever this guy is typing, convert it to double and pour it here. I'm going to do the same thing for the second guy. Whatever this guy is typing, pass it here and convert it to double. So I'm going to say P1 plus P2. I think this one is PL, but I'm going to call it P1. Now, another thing is that these two they are double, and it cannot be converted to, you have to convert it to integer back. To convert it to integer, you can do string dot pass, I don't know, but you can do dot to string. The reason why I use this bracket is because I want this action to perform first, that is, these two to add together and convert it to string. Now this will work perfectly. Let's try and see how it will look. I'm going to save now. And run the application. I'll click build simple calculator. Build succeeded. The next thing is to launch my application. I'm going to click the play button. So let's wait for our app to come up. Excellent. So this is how it will look on my system, on my phone. What I'm going to do now, please input your number. I'm going to add 45. I'll work on this later. Plus 76. And I'll click calculate. 45 plus 43 equals 88. I can make it calculate. But if I mistakenly had 5y, it's going to break my code. Okay, calculates. This will break my code. Input string was not in the correct format, so this will break my code. I'm going to explain that as well. how to um, how to inform user that what you type is incorrect. Thank you. Now let's continue with what we have. With this, what I want to do basically is that I want user to be able to select the operator he wants to perform. Then this will do the rest for me. To do that, now I'm going to say if operators picker, the name of this operator dot selected item, the item that is selected is assigned to plus, then do something for me. Add this. It's trying to tell me that, oh, I need to cast this to string because it may be, I can say dot to string, dot get type or dot to string and all that, but this will still work. It doesn't really matter. I will now say if it is minus, then subtract. If it is multiplication, multiply. So let's get this thing on right dot to string. To test our app, I'll click on start debugging. I'll select 25 plus 45 equals 68 minus 20, 45 equals minus 22 divided times 45 equals 1034. Let me change this to 565 divided by 45 equals this. This is lovely. This is a simple calculator. What we need to do now is just to format it and make sure everything looks good and nice. Now, I want to break my code. I want to add t to this and click calculate. You notice that input string was done in the correct format. That is 546t cannot be passed inside double. This can't work. Now let's solve the problem. You can do it this way. There's what we call try catch. This try catch will force our app to not to try this. If this fails, then do something else. But if I want to do it this way, I'll have to ensure that this one is outside try catch block. I'm going to cut this and paste it outside. Don't worry, I'm going to explain everything in total. I will initialize it to 0. This will be P1. I'll do the same for the second double. I will initialize it to 0. Of course, if you don't want to initialize it, it doesn't really matter. Now, if user types something not suitable, we don't want our app to crash. because that will crash our app. So we want to display a message for our app. There's what we call display alerts. And this display alerts, I'll call the title to be error. I'll tell them that, oh, please input numbers only. Then by the time they click OK, so that error will go away when they click OK. Excellent. I'm going to build the application again. And launch the app. This time around, I'm going to use the word, I'm going to type jagged things and click calculate. Notice that we have error, please input numbers only. This will not break our code, because if we don't do that, you just see application has stopped responding. Please click OK, something like that. And if I remove all of this and click calculate, it gives us the exact answer. Thank you for watching this. We're going to be dealing with many of these later.